Hello and welcome to Bloke on the Range, and today we're going to be revisiting a topic from quite a while back, and that is these German short-range blue plastic training rounds. And they're not blanks, they're not inerts. I know blue is often used for inert munitions, but not in this case. That's a blank. That's the package from the blank. Now, these things were used for short-range training in the German army and in other armies in the Cold War period. There's actually a conversion kit for the HKG3 with a very, very light non-locking bolt that will actually cycle these. I've also heard from British Army soldiers that they were sometimes issued them on training in Germany, but there was no FN FAL L1A1 conversion kit, so they had to cock them each time. But the whole point of this is that they've got a vastly limited danger area, and they shoot close enough to the sites for government work, at least at shortish distances. I seem to recall a claim of 200 meters or something, but they're very, very light. Off the top of my head, and we will verify this later in the video, 11 grains of plastic doing absolute warp factor snot. And I showed this previously with the chronograph setup, and people didn't believe me. They just said, oh, it must be the muzzle blast or whatever affecting the measurement. So I've got the chronograph set up there, about 10 feet in front of me. I've got some normal ammo, I've got the short range ammo, and I've got some blanks, and we're going to see what happens. So, first of all, to prove that the setup works and that it's not the muzzle blast that's affecting it, I'm going to put 3 rounds of Saltec 308 Winchester / 7.62 NATO. This is their NATO ball equivalent. Through this Sterling conversion 308 No.4, which I just zeroed. And we'll also have a look at where the point of impact is. I'm just going to do 3. I know 3 rounds isn't a group, but it's close enough for our purposes today. So, first up, NATO ball. Wait. 2,799 feet. 2,774 feet, and don't expect much on target. I'm hanging off the bench here. This is not designed for shooting off. 2,813 feet. Now, this stuff, and one reason why I'm using this, other than it being a cool rifle, is that it has a reduced rim diameter compared to actual NATO ball, so that if you've got the German conversion kit in your G3 or whatever, you can't accidentally run ball ammo direct blowback with no rollers. However, because of the Mahusiv extractor on this, this will actually extract and eject from this rifle. It won't from my 308 Garand, it won't from most other things I've tried it in, but this one, huge claw extractor, does seem to work. So right hand target. Didn't register. Let's try that again. Move across a bit. Misfire. $4,467. I think I was just not quite over the sensor the first time. 4,591. It's not ejecting properly, but it does extract at least, so I don't have to go in with a screwdriver. 4,457. So, it is not just muzzle blast. There's a little flash coming off the end, but there's nothing particularly impressive. Now, just to show that blast alone isn't enough, I'm just going to put 3 blanks in. Nothing. That got caught though, 7005. 6470. Interesting. Anyway, that is interesting that's catching the blast off the blank. But anyhow, let's go down the targets and take a look. Okay, 3 rounds of ball, set at 400, and then 3 rounds of that actually dropped low and right, which it didn't with the other rifle I tried it in. Anyway, I think to exclude the shockwave theory, I'm going to set the chronograph a little bit further from the target and just make sure that the blanks don't register, and then shoot some more of that horrible, not very good primered Kurzbahn short range ammunition. Right, so we're at least 4 meters from the muzzle now. Let's see if we can get 3 of these to go over it and register. Where are we? Four, 2, 5, 3. 4339. 4309. They all went. Now for some blank. Nothing. Nothing. Oh, error 3. It did actually detect something. Nothing. And just one more for good luck. $41.55 again. One more blank for good measure. Nothing. Okay, that has killed the shockwave theory. We are over 4,000 feet per second with this stuff. Right, let's go inside in the warm and take one of these apart. Okay, so we're back in the warm now. It's several days later, coming over all a bit lock-picking lawyer here to get a bit of a close-up view on these things. And actually, not only do these come in 7.62 NATO, but also 9 para, 7.65 Browning, aka 32 ACP. These ones were sent to me by Robert of Grunig and Elmiger, and these are actually brass-cased 5.56 NATO. And we compare with a blank. Now, first of all, I did mention that the rim diameter is different from a real one. So if we stick that in there, we can see that there's a substantial difference in rim diameter. So the real thing is bang on 12 millimeters, and then this is 11.35. So the idea being that if you've got your direct blowback lightened bolt G3 thingy in and you accidentally chamber ball ammunition, it won't chamber. So it won't go over the rim. This does cause difficulties trying to use these in some normal rifles because oftentimes the extractor just slips over, which is a bit annoying. So let's get all that out the way. What we got here is a single bit of injection molded plastic with a hollow cavity in it filled with powder, or filled just with a whiff of powder, you'll see in a minute, and a clipped in aluminium base with a primer. Now when it's fired, it breaks off at that line there, and you can see how it's made, and you can see the sprue from the injection moulding. And so what seems to happen here is that they injection mould the unitary bullet and case body. They'll then, once it's solidified fully, tip it upside down, put powder in, and then press the base onto it. And there you go. And you can see the thicker bits in the neck there, allowing the plastic to flow down from the tip. Compared to a blank, on the other hand, this is made in a similar manner, but it's got score lines here. So instead of breaking off here, and you can see that there's no sharp transition to create a nice stress concentration there so that it breaks off cleanly. It's smooth, weakened lines, so there'll be little ribs in the mould. And so they're actually, although they're both plastic and are made sort of from manufacturing perspective on the same principle, they are not the same. And let's just check the diameter of this, which is, it's 11.7, so it's not quite the same as this PPU case, which runs at bang on 12, but it's close enough, so that will work better. Okay, so let's cut this off at the brake line, making sure that the powder is down the back so that we don't spill it everywhere, which knowing me, I probably will. So that goes through pretty easily there. In fact, that's bang on the line. Let's have a look at what the weight of that is. In fact, I'll just give it a little shave. Am I getting anything off that? Now I've just moved house and my little powder scales have gone walkies, but I have this big powder trickler thing. So we're at 10.4 grains. There won't be massive consistency on these. And the powder charge is 12.5 grains of, let's have a look. So that's kind of fine cut tubular powder. It's probably very, very fast. They need to be to generate those kinds of velocities to propel such a tiny little thing downrange. So let's see if we can attack this further. So there we go, we've got some asymmetric wedge-shaped ridges in the case head assembly here that then clip into the grooves in the back of the plastic case. So you can see here, and actually what's quite interesting, if you look at that, if we push it all the way in, is that the powder chamber actually narrows down here, so we've got greater wall thickness, which is probably good for keeping the pressure in at the back end and preventing this from flowing out around around that. But that's really interesting. So you can see how it's made, filled, and then this, with the primer already in it, is inserted, and there you go. So, I hope that was at least vaguely interesting. If you survived this far, jolly well done. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment under the video, because all engagement helps. Please consider becoming a patron and supporting us on Patreon if you haven't already done so. All help is gratefully received and hopefully put to good use. And see you again sometime. Bye.